I got an email today from someone I spoke to about a year ago about possibly buying their first handgun and maybe even starting concealed carry. Well, since I last spoke to them, they have bought a handgun and they are carrying concealed, but now they've got a different issue. It seems that since they bought their first handgun, their parents now think they need a handgun for home protection, and he's trying to decide what guns would be best for his parents. Now, he says his father likes the same gun he carries. That's not a problem. But the question is what they should get for his mother. He says his mother is kind of frail, so he's trying to decide on what gun they should get for her. And I think they're making some of the mistakes that a lot of people make when they try to choose a gun for someone that has weaker hands or is more recoil sensitive. The first issue I saw was he said that they thought about getting her a .380. Well, most .380s are blowback. There are some exceptions, but most of them are blowback pistols. And as far as recoil goes, .380s are pretty heavy, especially if you get into the smaller guns that are really popular in .380. A lot of people will think, well, they're a little person, let's get them a little gun. Little guns really aren't great for little people. They're kind of hard to hold on to sometimes if they have weak hands, if they have any frailty at all. So don't always go for a small gun. If someone has problem handling a gun that recoils, get them the heaviest gun that they can handle easily as far as weight is concerned and let them use that because it'll handle the recoil better. Small isn't always better for a small person. It's sometimes the worst thing you can do for a little person is give them a little gun that recoils a lot if they don't have the hand strength to deal with it. The other problem I saw with what they were talking about is they were talking about semi-autos for his mother. Well, if she's got small, frail, weak hands, semi-autos are not the best choice. They have to be able to rack that slide. Now, sometimes people say, well, I'll just rack it for them. That way there's already a bullet in the chamber and they just got to be able to pull the trigger. Well, that's not the case. If that gun malfunctions, they're going to have to be able to work that slide. I'll even see some guys say, well, my wife can just barely rack the slide, so this gun is okay for her. Well, no, it's not. If she can just barely rack the slide under normal conditions, if that gun malfunctions, most of us that own semi-autos know that sometimes when a semi-auto jams or malfunctions, that slide becomes very hard to muscle back. You've got to power it back. And if she can't do that, then she shouldn't have a semi-auto. When you choose what gun to carry, you've got to take into account things that might go wrong. And if you can't rack a slide on a gun that's failed, then that's probably not the best choice for you. You need to look elsewhere. You need to look at revolvers. Now, I'm not talking a little J-frame and .357 Magnum or anything like that, because a lot of men can't handle the recoil in those. They're pretty abusive little guns. But if you get like a 4-inch stainless steel revolver or all-steel revolver, the recoil is minimal in those. There's also no slides to rack. You just got to cock a hammer, and if something goes wrong, you just pull the trigger again. Most anybody can handle that, even if they have frail hands. If they're capable of cocking a hammer with their thumb and pulling a trigger with their finger, they're capable of working a revolver reliably, even if something goes wrong. And if you're afraid the recoil from a revolver might be a little too much for them, well then get them some nice little 90 grain 38 special low recoiling bullets. They'll be able to handle that just fine. It's better to have that than something that they can't operate. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, that's only 6 shots. But still, in the end, I always say if someone has weak hands and they have issues with slides, a revolver is still the best option for them. Even if they're recoil sensitive, you can get revolvers that don't recoil too badly. Because in the end, it's better to have 6 shots that they can actually use than 20 shots that they can't.